say goodbye this weekend. Of course, Diaz, Lenihan, Nyambe, Rothwell, and of course Tony Mowbray could be about to say goodbye to, of course, the home faithful for the very last time. Can we go out in style? Taking on Bournemouth. We'll take a look at it. All of it. Nay. Match review. Looking forward to Blackburn Rovers taking on Bournemouth over in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you know where you mean, smash your subscribe to keep back to all things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We're all here, boys, under one rooski. That's right. Of course, Rovers say goodbye for 2021-2022 season. Of course, it is to the Ewood faithful, but of course, we could actually delay our season by another couple of games if we are to beat Bournemouth and hope for a little bit of luck elsewhere around the division. Of course, we'll take a look at all of it in a minute. Of course, maybe shout out to my VIPs, the other patrons, guys. Thank you for loving, of course, behind the scenes. You know who you are. But anyway, let's get into it. Break it all down, have a look what's inside. Here we go then. It is the match of the weekend. I will have a watch along. Live. Looking forward to Rovers against Bournemouth. Andy, will I be here in the middle of central Pennsylvania, hoping to see Rovers bow out in style with Mowbray at the helm. Of course, could be for the last time. Again, you know what? It's all speculation at this time you're asking. He's saying he's not heard of anything. I get it. Let me go big picture on this one because it is a bit of a serious topic. I have been Mowbray out. I am still preferably Mowbray out. But of course, it comes with a little bit of a grass is never always greener approach in my eyes. Of course, we could end up, if we were to go in different ways, with a dog shit manager, a Neil Lennon, no disrespect, or Alan Pardew, of course, a real right old smirch, old has-been, to take over the reins from Mowbray, and that, I would not want that. If that was the option, if I could have a little bit of a sneak peek of what's in store for next season, then I'll feel either good or bad about getting rid of Mowbray or not, of course. So Mowbray, for me, is a good, safe pair of hands, but there are exciting options out there, and if those guys in power have their plan is set and, of course, exciting stuff, then, yeah, I'm interested to do it. But, of course, Mowbray is fantastic. He's done a great job for it, of course. But it might not be. He might get a new contract. They might just be seeing where we end up at the end of the campaign. May we finish in 6th, they'll get out the contract. That's what I feel they should do. Get him a contract if he finishes in 6th. If he doesn't finish in 6th, then I think, considering where we were, it might be a time to review our situation. Of course, it is a contract. This contract is up. Let's just get over the next few weeks or days even and see what goes on. But anyway, let's take a look at the game. Of course, it does. For us today is must win game against Bournemouth. However, you could also spin it a different way depending on what goes on today between QPR and Sheffield United. That could also have a bearing as well. If QPR were to beat Sheffield United, it gives us a little bit of extra life heading into the final game. But realistically, we need to be getting something out of this. But a win would be definitely an amazing result for us, of course. But Bournemouth are, of course, sitting in second spot as of recording. Big week for them. Us today, Forest midweek. But they can't look too far ahead because they've got to take care of business tomorrow against Rovers at Ewood Park. And we're expecting over 20,000, I believe, which is great numbers for Mowbray. And, of course, great numbers for the boys at Ewood Park. Of course, Darrell Lennon, again, could be his final game as Capitano, as a player at Ewood Park. His contract's also expired. There are rumblings that maybe he might sign on another deal, but of course, we'll have to wait and see. I did predict 10 for the season. It looks like we might beat that, but of course, we do need some points before the end of the campaign. Now, we do come into this on the back of that big result against Preston 4-1 it was over at Deepdale. Goodness gracious me, what a turn up for the books that was. Before that, two stonking defeats against Peterborough and at home to Stoke, so not great there. So just, we look at 2 defeats the past 5. It's okay for them, but it's not really good. But we do come back in from that big result against Preston North End. Meanwhile, the goal tally have increased for Sam Gallagher, just 1 now away from double digits. Can he actually do it? Can the striker get into double digits? That's what I'm hoping for, if nothing else, for the season. Of course, Diaz is up there with 21 goals. It could be again his last match. His contract is technically up, but of course we have the ability to renew, which we will do, and we'll probably sell if we get interested parties out there. Donald got 5, Catcher got 5, and I think he is also toast unless we make playoffs. So we've already seen the end unless something miraculous comes as well. Buckley with 14 yellows, Van Heck with 2, Travis with 10, and Lenihan has 9. As for the Reds, and Lenihan, Nyambe, Udun, and Van Heck in the red cards. This is how I expect Rovers to start here. One absentee from the last game. That is Ryan Hedges. I think he might be injured. He might be available, but of course it might be smoke and mirrors by Tony Mowbray. But of course, if it is, then there's just the one change. And of course, so I'm going to go with Kaminsky, Pickering, Wharton, Van Heck, Lenihan, back 4. That's right. We were fantastic with the back 4. Fantastic with set pieces against Preston. Travis and Rothwell in the midfield. Of course, Buckley in supporting the number 9 role, I guess. Diaz, Dolan, Gallagher up top, of course, in a very, very interesting and spicy looking 11 for Rovers. This is, of course, what's heading us out of this game, our final game of the season, down at St Andrews. You know what? And I know Mowbray's declared his or expressed his opinion that he doesn't know where he's going to be next season. Birmingham would be a fantastic opportunity for him. It's more southern than if he does spend his time down in Ipswich. I don't know, in that neighbourhood, but this would be, I think, it would be a good project for him if he was to leave. I'm not saying that I want him to leave. I'm not saying that he should leave, but I'm just saying they will probably be on the lookout for a manager. I think Barnsley, if he's up in the northeast, Sunderland, of course, would be a fantastic thing if they fail to get over the line. Promotion. There are some really interesting angles that Mowbray could do if he wants to stay more closer to the home and, of course, do another managerial job somewhere else. But anyway, so look at the opposition then, shall we? Bournemouth, of course, coming at you from Dean Court, a.k.a. the Vitality. Scotty Parker is the manager. Stevie Cook. Is that right? I don't even know if he's. There's a couple of. There was 2 cooks. There was too many cooks that spoiled the broth. One buggered off, and I think that's that guy. He's buggered off. Reading, of course, their nearest match. Hull City, the furthest distance they have to travel. Last season they finished 6th. This season I did predict they would finish 6th. They're not going to finish 6th. It's either going to be 2nd or somewhere in the playoffs. Of course, they need to beat us, beat Forest, and then, of course, they should be home and host for the final game of the season. Take a look at the resume then. Of course, they haven't won in 2 games, back-to-back game now without a goal, or without a win. Sorry, 3-3 draw against Swansea on the road, 1-1 draw against Fulham. Of course, they were 3-0 down in that game against Swansea, so they did fight back. They're also 1-0 down against Fulham, and they fought back in that one as well. But they did beat Coventry on the road. They did pick up a draw against Middlesbrough, and they also drew against Bournemouth as well. So just 1 defeat. In fact, no defeats. No defeats in the past 5. If you look at that, just 1 win in the last 5. So they're drawing too many games at the wrong time of asking, really. They want to get over the line, and they want to be there automatically. Solanke's got himself 29 goals. Billings got 9. Anthony's got 8, and Lowe has got 7. Billings also got 13 yellows. Lerman's got 8. Mepper's got 7, and Sir Murmur has got 7 as well. Lerman with a couple of reds as well. Smithy Boy with a red. Cahill and Brooks with a red. This is, of course, your lineup. Travers between 6. Smith on the left-hand side. Kelly, Phillips, and Laird at the right-hand side. Cook. Of course, Lerma, Christie, Anthony, Solanke, and Lowe is your attackers in a 4-2-3-1. Now, of course, they've got a couple of games left besides this one. They have Forest on the road, at home, and then Millwall at home as well. One probably winnable game. The other one will be very, very spicy, and I'll try and catch that game if I can. Tuesday, 3rd of May. This is, of course, the stats then, shall we? Of course, Rovers on the left-hand side, Bournemouth on the right. Of course, in possession, Rovers are 43% of the time in the middle third, 30% moving forward, and 27% in the defensive third. As for Bournemouth, 41% of their time is also in the middle third, 30% moving forward, and 28% in the defensive core there. As for when they're in the ball, Rovers prefer the right-hand side to the left. And, of course, Bournemouth prefer the left-hand side to the right when in possession. Of course, shots, though, of course, Rovers 58% of the time shooting from inside the 18-yard box, 35% long-range bad boys, and 7% in that 6-yard area. Of course, Bournemouth, though, heavily fancied in, of course, that 6-yard area. 12% of all their shots coming in there, 59% in the middle, 18th third there, and 29% long-range cookies. Of course, when shooting, Rovers prefer the left to the right. And, of course, as for Bournemouth, pretty even Stevens, of course, left and right, but 66% down the middle there. As for, of course, the home form versus their away form, Rovers coming to this just 1 win in 5 at Ewood Park. Pretty shit way to end the season, despite having a fantastic first half of the campaign, both home and away. As for Bournemouth, it's just 1 defeat in the past 5 for them. Of course, losing to West Brom, of course, but just 1 win in the last 4 on the road as well. And well, they're keeping a lot of clean sheets, I'll give them that. Of course, they played each other 9 times, these two sides. 3 wins for Rovers, 5 wins for Bournemouth, and 1 draw. Of course, Rovers coming to 33% form up against the Bournemouth side. Just 1 win in 5, 1 win in 6, actually. 50% form for them. Drawing 4, winning 1, and losing 1 as well. Our biggest win over them was a 2-0 win. The biggest win over us was a 2-0 win as well. We've scored 18 goals compared to their 19, which works out about 2 goals a game ratio compared to their 2.11 goals a game ratio as well. Coming on forward then, shall we? Of course, let's take a look at the recent results. Of course, we played them at their place back in December. It was a 2-0 win for Rovers. Rovers, Ben Pearson with a big fat OG, and Van Heck with a belter as well. But of course, last time I played at Ewood was a 2-0 win for Bournemouth. That was back in April. Around about this time-ish last season, of course, 2-0 win for them. Billing and Danjuma, of course. But we did get the better of them. No, we didn't. No, we bloody didn't. We've only won twice at the last 6, both home and away. And our recent form at Ewood Park is not great either. They've won 3 of them, 3 of the 4. We've only won once, and the last one was back in 2014 with Jordan Rose, Grant Hanley, and Rudy Gesteke. It was a 3-goal lead with Pittman and Cook right there to kind of make it nervy in the bitter end, of course. But that's, of course, the history. Of course, we're going to write our own history this weekend and hopefully go out with a banger, of course. So these two sides have played, well, Rovers played 44 times this season, 43 for Bournemouth. Bournemouth actually picking up around about 2 goals a game compared to Rovers 1. They have more shots than us than we do. They have more fouls than us. We're offside more than they are. We are better in the air. They're better on the ground, but that's, of course, no difference from what we've been expecting all season. As for our side at home, we're picking up around about 2 goals a game. They can pick up 1 goal a game as well. Shots are pretty much the same. Fouls are pretty much the same. Corners are the same. We're better in the air than they are. They're better again on the ground. But, of course, that's the way it's been all season for Blackburn Rovers. Take a look at, of course, the goals then. We've scored 57 times. They scored 69, dude. That's right. 35 of our goals open play. 55 for them through open play. 13 set pieces for Rovers, which is a strength. Of course, we did up the tally this past couple of games here. Of course, against Preston anyway. Quite a few set piece goals there. 4 counter-attacks, 4 penalties, 1 OG. No counter-attack goals from Bournemouth all season. 9 set pieces, 4 penalties, and 1 OG. We have a conversion rate of 11%. They have a conversion rate of 12%. They are above us in the league, so we are battering above our station, of course. We've not really been good against those in the automatics. Of course, Fulham, we lost both of those games. Of course, we did beat Bournemouth, though, so give them credit. Of course, the goals conceded, the Rovers have conceded 46 times. 39 times have been conceded by Bournemouth. 35 for open set 7 pieces, 1 counter-attack, 1 penalty, and 2 OGs. They've not conceded a counter-attack. Again, bizarre stat there. 9 set pieces, 3 penalties, and 3 OGs. Conversion rate of 9% for both of us. Of course, heading into this is what we're going to expect from the game then, Shab, because Rovers' strengths are counter-attacks, long shot opportunities, chances through individual skills, scoring chances, and defending set piece, but also bossing the aerial regards. Of course, weaknesses, though, keeping possession of the ball, avoiding offside, defending against attack through balls, and also defending against skillful players as well. Our style of play is down the right-hand side, long shots, a lot of long shots, aggressive, consistent first 11, and that opponents play aggressively against us. As for Bournemouth, their strengths are scoring chances, attacking down the wings, coming back from losing positions. Their weaknesses, though, stopping opponents from creating chances, defending against long shots, aerial duels, avoiding fouling in dangerous areas. Their style of plays are down the left-hand side, short passes, through balls are often possession football, being very, very aggressive, and they do play the offside trap. There's the forecast. High number of cards shown in the game. Blackburn Rovers will stray offside often. Bournemouth will be shown a high number of cards. Rovers will dominate in the air. Rovers will score a long shot, create many scoring chances, and Bournemouth will dominate possession. Hopefully, it's just a 1-0 win for Rovers. But anyway, this is the tail of the tape. Of course, Bournemouth have been in the automatics pretty much from the get-go. They've not dropped out the top 2. If they have, it's only been for like a fleeting moment. Rovers have been in the playoffs for a huge part of the season. But of course, we've trickled out recently, but we are still within touching distance of getting up there. And again, what happens on Friday night could have bearing on what happens on Saturday night as well. As if Sheffield United do win and we lose, it's over. If we draw, if they win again and we draw, it's over. So it all depends on what goes on. If they draw and we draw, then whatever. There's lots of if, ands, and buts and whens and stuff like that. And there's also humongous scenario bubbling behind the scenes for me. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Of course, the form then heading into this one, Rovers currently sitting 19th form, 5 points out of possible 18. Bournemouth are currently in 14th, picking up 7 points out of possible 18. So both sides not the greatest of form. The home form for Rovers, we currently find ourselves in mid-table there, kind of towards the relegation half really, lower table I guess, 15th, 8 points out of possible 18. That's our home form, up against Bournemouth, who are in their away form sitting in 8th, picking up 8 points out of possible 18 as well. Of course, take a look at some other stats and figures then. Of course, the best possession-based side is Swansea. Of course, 60% possession for them. Fulham, of course, second. Bournemouth, Sheffield United, and QPR may get the power 5. As for the most aggressive, Rovers, of course, 102 yellows. Bournemouth, Cardiff, Derby, and Middlesbrough. Of course, aerial duels. West Brom lead the charge there. Millwall and Rovers are in 3rd there. Forest and Cardiff. Shots per game. Fulham, Coventry, West Brom, Birmingham, and Sheffield United with pass accuracy. Swansea, Fulham, Bournemouth, Sheffield United, and QPR. Let's take a look at, of course, what's going on this weekend. The big game, of course, today. QPR, Sheffield United. Come on, QPR. Warburton is going to go bow out for sure. That's confirmed. Can he bow out in front of the Loftus Road faithful with a result? Of course, keeping the playoff races hot on track. And again, we're just thinking with the blue and white tinted glasses. Thinking about Millwall, thinking about Middlesbrough. They'll also be looking at this game and hoping QPR can do them all a favour. And of course, open up the floodgates for Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, Barnsley up against Preston. Don't really care about that. Middlesbrough against Stoke. Keep an eye on that one. Cardiff up against Birmingham. Dead rubber right there. Forest against Swansea. Forest need to win that one. Swansea, of course, are the team to watch for next season. Keep an eye on them. They're going to be making playoffs, if not more than that, next campaign. campaign. Coventry up against Huddersfield. Against Huddersfield are safe. Coventry are just, they're mathematically in it, but they're going to take snookers, of course. Bristol City against Hull City, nothing going on there. Reading, West Brom, dead rubber. Blackpool Derby finished, of course. Millwall need to win against Peterborough, and Fulham against Luton will be a zinger as well. If Rovers win, of course, we want Fulham to win that one. If not, then then Luton need a point. Of course, take a look at the goal scoring charts. Mitrovic's got 41 goals. Of course, next up is Solanke with 28. Perot's up there with 22. Diaz now with 21. Wyman, Adebayo, Gayokis, Johnson, Grant, and Sharp up there as well. As for the most key assist makers there, Wilson, Swift, Wallace, Willock, and Thomas, of course. What am I looking at here? Double bubble. Of course, here we go. Then, score prediction on the board here. I'm actually going to go with a anticlimactic draw. That's right, which may or may not be enough to keep us in the mix. Of course, it will be enough to keep us in the mix of going into the final day if, of course, Sheffield United do lose or draw against QPR, of course. But anyway, what's going on behind the scenes, of course, I'm waiting patiently, of course, for this one, because if Rovers were to somehow mathematically squeak into the top 6, I'm going to try and get my ass to England to watch the playoff games live in person at Ewood, and of course wherever we go with the second leg or the first leg, wherever it is in the world. So yeah, I'm eagerly waiting. Of course, that is of course a bit of a logistical nightmare, trying to get tickets, trying to of course schedule time off work, looking after the dog, all this kind of stuff, trying to figure all that out. But we'll hopefully by the end of this weekend we'll have a clearer indication as to whether or not we need to start panicking probably, or we could just relax because it's all over. But anyway, be sure to join me live on Saturday as we look forward to this game. I'm actually live early on Saturday for the League One final day of the season. We'll see who makes it then, who goes up to the Championship, who of course is in the playoffs, and who goes down to League Two. We'll have a little special live show. There's just me. I'm not doing the fans this time around. It's too chaotic. I'm too stressed as it is right now. But of course, then join me for the live watch along with this game at Ewood Park, Rovers up against Bournemouth. But that's it. Smash your thumbs up. It does wonders for the smash your subscribe, of course. I just love you anyway. But until then, boys, we'll catch you regardless tomorrow. Until then, we're done right now.